Well, for more on the prospects for the airline industry, I'm joined now by Diogenis Papiomytis from the transport consultancy firm Frost Sullivan. Thanks very much for joining us. If we take a look at what's happening here, we're kind of seeing a bit of a contradiction, because IATA is saying that there's going to be 73% more travel within Europe. How are those people going to be getting around if not on Lufthansa?
What is happening is basically, well, what the IATA forecast said is kind of irrelevant if you look at it from a different perspective. So what IATA says is that the forecast now is for 7 billion instead of 4 billion that we were saying previously. But in fact, that only makes a difference of about 50 basis points on net margins. So we're talking about the industry having either 0.5% or 1% margin as a whole. So in fact, the industry is struggling anyway, whether the forecast is about 4 or 5 or 7 billion.
Right, and so what are the main reasons why the airline industry in particular is struggling so much at the moment?
Well, the industry is very well linked to the GDP growth, and wherever you see, it's a very highly cyclical industry. So what is happening now is, with lower GDP forecasts, the industry forecasts are also going down as well. So even IATA says that for 2012, it will be less, the profitability will be less for all airlines worldwide, especially for European and North American airlines.
So the main issues are that there is overcapacity. Another big problem, of course, is fuel, isn't it?
Yes, fuel costs are really high, and the projections are for next year that fuel will go up. So the fuel costs will go up. Today, fuel is about 32% of the airline's cost. 10 years ago, it was about 15 to 16%. So clearly, it's a more important aspect of any airline operations.
So how do airlines begin to deal with that? Is it about more efficient aircraft, or do they have to put prices up, or how do they deal with it?
It is about capital expenditure, because they have to buy the newest aircraft. And this is what is happening now in Europe and in North America. Airlines are modernizing their fleets. They're buying more aircraft, not to expand, but to substitute, so to replace existing fleets.
So does this mean that we'll end up with some consolidation in the aircraft industry, and presumably only the strongest and fittest can survive in this market? In
the airline industry, for sure. What you need is very strong cash flows in order to fund these capital expenditures. And what we see is that more and more airlines are going through mergers and acquisitions. They're consolidating, or they're joining alliances. So the biggest airlines will not have a lot to fear from this recession, but the smaller ones will have a lot of issues.
And what about the budget airlines? How do they fare in times like this?
Well, again, the biggest ones are pretty well positioned for any recession. But the smaller ones, so some of them based now in Eastern Europe and some in Asia Pacific, they're not so well positioned because they don't have the funding required to buy the new aircraft.
Is the market too crowded at the low end?
I would say it is. There's the overcapacity issue is for two reasons. One is because airlines buy aircraft for 10 years, whereas cyclicality is imminent. But also because you don't have this efficiencies from joint operations.
Yeah. So what happens in that case? Do they actually go to the wall, or does somebody buy them up? Can you see consolidation at the bottom end as well as at the top end? Yes.
Yeah. Only if you see in Europe what has happened in the last 10 years with BA, Iberia, Air France, KLM, and Lufthansa being the three big groups now. Just yesterday, I think BA announced they're shortlisted with 3 airlines to merge with 3 more airlines. So this is what is happening now. It is consolidation.
Okay. Diogenis Papiomytis, thank you very much indeed for your views today.